Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the podcast. Lilly and I would like to thank you all for joining us today on episode number 7 of the Foltz Fitness podcast. And today's episode is going to be a little bit different.
So today's episode, we're going to just give you guys a background on us. It's kind of like a get to know us episode. We're going to do overview of who we are, what we like to do, what we do for work and school, an overview of where we came from and what we're doing now and where we see ourselves in the future.
Some of you probably don't know a lot about our background, so we just wanted to create an episode and kind of dive into just where we came from and what we're doing currently. So we'll dive right into the podcast.
Yeah. Right now we are living in Columbus, Ohio. We're actually both from Northwest Ohio. We'll get into a little bit later about what brought us specifically to Columbus area right now.
Yeah, we're both from small towns in Ohio. I'm from a small town, Van Buren, and you're from
North Baltimore. They're rival high school teams. I mean,
they were about 10 minutes from one another.
Axel is drinking in the background. If you hear any slurping sounds, that is him trying to get his point across this evening as well. So small towns, about 5 miles apart, just kind of outside of Bowling Green and Findlay area, about halfway. We have quite the history together. We met when we were both in high school. You could call us high school sweethearts, even though we went to rival high schools. Do you want to talk a little bit about when we met?
Yeah, so it was all the way back in 2015. Mm-hmm. We met at a high school homecoming. I was at North Baltimore's homecoming with somebody else, and
so was I.
met Lilly for the first time, and as the old saying goes, the rest was history, but that's pretty much what it was. We started talking after that night, and everything just kind of clicked, and we started dating in the new year of 2016, and then we've been together ever since. So what is that, 8 years now?
Yeah.
9 years?
9.
So we've been together for a while, and it's been super fun because we've literally essentially grown up together. We've watched each other grow from different stages of life. We've learned a lot about each other along the way, and we've kind of learned how to mature together and how to support one another through the hard times. And we've had some difficult times, especially, after we got married, we essentially weren't together for 6 months. So we've went through some difficult times, and we just, we learned to support one another and persevere through those hard times, and it's worked out really well for us.
Yeah, I think the first kind of speed bump, if you want to call it that, would have been going to separate colleges then as well. You went to the University of Findlay, and I went to Bowling Green State University. We each have very different backgrounds and what our interests are as far as education, which I think is kind of fun in our relationship. I like being able to tell you about all the stuff that I learn and implement in my life, and being able to share that with you is really fun.
Yeah, even though we went to separate universities, they were only, roughly 25 minutes from each other.
Yeah.
And we still got to spend a lot of time together.
A lot of time.
During our college years, which was very beneficial, I think. Mm-hmm. So I lived in a house with some of the guys I played golf in college, and I lived with some of the guys in a house, and you were always there to hang out and support and just be seen by all my friends. And we formed some really good relationships with those guys and girls over those, 3-4 years. So we ended up getting engaged in December of 2022. It was my 5th year of college. I was granted a 5th year to play college golf. So I got my undergrad in business management and HR, and then did my Master's of Business Administration that 5th year. And in the December of that 5th year, we got engaged. And then we got married the following December in 2023.
Yeah, I, in undergrad, studied communication sciences and disorders at Bowling Green State University. There's kind of 2 career paths that you can go. Actually, 3. Special education is one. A speech language pathologist is the second. And then the third is continuing education in a doctor of audiology. And I chose to continue my education in getting a doctorate of audiology, and I'm still working towards that goal. I'm about halfway through, which is so exciting to say, and I'm very eager to continue this journey and start my career as an audiologist.
And that's the reason that when we got married, we were living apart for the first 6 months, because I had taken the assistant coaching position for University of Findlay men's and women's golf team, and you were in Columbus pursuing your doctorate. So we had, a span of 6 months where we weren't together, which was very hard. And I think it only helped us grow closer together through those 6 months. Really made us appreciate the time that we had together, because it was really limited to weekends and,
Special events.
2 and 3 days at a time. So we really learned to cherish those moments together and not take it for granted, which I think has really helped us in our marriage since we've been living together now for about 6 months.
Yeah, we've had kind of a 6 months apart and then now 6 months together. It's been a journey.
For sure. Can you talk a little bit about your experience going to doctorate school and how it might be different from undergrad for those people listening that may be pursuing higher education?
Yes. I think my perspective is kind of different too, because I went to 2 different universities. So going from Bowling Green State University, I had maybe 30 people, maybe around 30 people in a class, maybe more for some classes. Obviously, the general education classes were significantly larger. The audiology program at Ohio State is roughly a 10-to-1 ratio. So there's 10 students to 1 professor. That was a huge shift for me. The other thing that I really learned from doctoral school is advocating for myself. Since it is a higher education, there is a higher expectation. A lot of the work and effort is independent, and you really have to advocate if you're needing help or needing extra resources to get through the program.
Yeah, so I know this is a fitness podcast, but I think there's a lot of other things that we can dive into to help people out, which is why I wanted you to mention a little bit about your experience in doctorate school and giving some advice for those who might want to pursue that in their life. And I like how you mentioned that it's very independent and you have to kind of be driven individually versus more of a team or class aspect, which is ironically a lot like running and marathoning and ultra marathons. Is you have to be self-disciplined. And I think those people that can learn to push themselves and be self-disciplined are going to achieve a lot more in life, essentially.
Yeah. One thing too is one thing is you just have to find yourself and find your passions. In audiology, there are a lot of avenues that you can go. Pediatrics, geriatrics, vestibular, cochlear implants, just hearing aids. There's so many avenues. I can't even begin to list them all off. But there's also a lot of opportunity. And I think that's why I really liked going into audiology and kind of finding what I like best. And that's able to I'm able to change throughout my career, which is really exciting too. I like having broad horizons ahead.
Yeah, I think it's very cool to watch you come home from your clinics and things like that and listen to you talk. And you can just tell that you're really passionate about what you're doing, which is very exciting for me to see, seeing you pursue something that means a lot to you and that you truly enjoy doing.
I appreciate that. I am quite passionate about it, and you're probably sometimes tired of hearing about all that I have to share, but you're a very good listener and the most supportive when it comes to encouraging me to also achieve my goals in life. And I'm really glad to call you my husband.
Well, thank you. I think, like we mentioned a little bit earlier, that having a supportive person or people in your life is super important if you're going to achieve anything great. I mean, I couldn't do any of the things I've done, fitness or race related, without having you and the support of your family and my family in my corner. It's just not possible.
100% same.
And I think, those 6 months that we spent away from each other actually helped us in that department, because we had to really voice our support, because, we weren't there emotionally and physically for each other. So we had to really trust and put that support out and show it. And I think that's really helped us grow together.
Yeah, I would encourage, if someone is seeking a partner, find someone who you can trust and know that they're going to be there at the end of the road. Because that person is not only there short term, here and now, but hopefully your person for life.
Yeah. So that's a little bit about what Lily's doing. So she's been at it for a while. And when we got married, we had kind of eventually made the decision that we were going to move to the Columbus area. We had toyed around with the idea of trying to split the distance so I could continue working in Findlay, but we just realized that the travel time and the stress of all that traveling and driving each day would probably wear on us. So we decided it was probably in our best interest just to come to Columbus and be here while she's going to school, which is what we did. We moved into our apartment in July of 2024, and we've been here ever since. And it's been a lot of fun having our own space finally.
Yeah.
Together, you've done some decorating for each holiday, and you're always bringing flowers in and all kinds of stuff like that. So
it is fun.
We've had a lot of fun with it, and we got a new member of our family back in September. We got our German Shepherd. His name is Axel. If you guys have watched the recent YouTube video, we introduced him in a YouTube video. So you'll be seeing him a lot on social medias if you follow us there, and on YouTube. But he's been the absolute best pup, and he's growing fast.
He is growing fast.
But we have to do a good job of keeping him occupied while we record podcasts, because he's not a very good podcast guest.
I'm sure he'll get better with time.
For sure. So while Lily's doing her schooling, I found a job down here at a country club, Wedgwood Golf and Country Club, and I'm doing HR and accounting there. So I got into that position in early July of 24. So working on almost a year.
Yeah.
So it's been good, and it's been a very nice balance.
Yeah.
I've been able to kind of focus on work and my training at the same time, which has been really nice.
Yeah. One thing that that stands out to me from this job for you is the consistency. You're going to have a 9 to 5 every day. It's a lot easier on your training schedule and our relationship too, to know our expectations of each other during the week.
Yeah. When I was doing my coaching, it was kind of always up in the air a little bit. There was definitely some more flexibility at times, and other times it was, I was gone quite a bit, and traveling and going to tournaments and things like that was kind of difficult for us to see each other, especially when we were living apart. But it just wasn't a super consistent schedule, and I'm kind of a creature of habit, and I like to have a consistent schedule over and over again. I like to know when I'm going to be doing things, and this job has definitely allowed me to be consistent and I know when I'm going to get this done and this done and this done daily. So that's been nice. But I think if we're not careful, sometimes coming, going to a 9 to 5 every day can get a little bit redundant. And I think everybody can fall into the trap of every day feeling like it's the same. So I think it's important to make sure you're including different things throughout your day so it doesn't feel like you're just continuing to live the same day over and over again.
Yeah. I think that's another benefit of this doctoral program. Right now, I do have the flexibility of having variation throughout the week. Some days I'm in clinic, some days I'm at outside placements, other days I'm in the classroom. The first year of the program is really classroom heavy, and then it transitions into more clinical responsibilities, so that your fourth year is not actually, it is technically schooling. You are still a student, but you're a extern at an outside placement. So your clinical responsibilities increase as your foundation of knowledge grows from the first year.
It'll be exciting to watch you kind of extend into that externship and really put what you've learned to use. And I think it's going to be really exciting to watch each other grow in our passions. You're going to obviously turn into and become a doctor, which is going to be very exciting. And I'm going to just kind of continue what I'm doing with my job for now and training and just continuing to push every day to get a little bit better. And I can't wait to see where we kind of grow in this next phase of life.
Yeah. I think the next steps for us, we'll be here for a while yet. We're shopping around for an externship here soon. Our externship would be a whole year somewhere in the U.S. I'm unsure where I'll be placed. I'm really open to. I think we're both really open to traveling and trying somewhere new. I think that's a really exciting part about being young.
Yeah, for sure. We've done our fair share of traveling in the past. We took a trip. Was that in 2023? We took a trip basically across the U.S.
That was fun.
Yeah, we got done with our schooling, our undergrads, and we decided that we wanted to go see the mountains out west, and we decided to take a road trip, and we drove out through Yellowstone. We went to the Badlands, saw Mount Rushmore, and we ended up driving all the way out to Oregon.
Eugene.
Yep, we were in Eugene for a while, and then we pretty much just turned around and came back home. We went back through the Grand Tetons, and we just saw some beautiful landscapes on that trip, and it made us want to drop everything and move out to the mountains then.
Yes, not there was a little bit of hesitation in dropping everything, but not much was calling us back to Ohio, but we're the most interested in the outdoors.
Yeah.
I would say if we had to describe our future, it's going to be somewhere where we can access the earth.
Yeah, I would say we're definitely open to kind of whatever comes our way, which is a little bit different, because if somebody would have said that, 2-3 years ago, we probably would have said, no, we'll probably always be where we were from. So
I think that's a part of us growing up together too, is like you mentioned earlier, we have had time to mature and learn about each other, and we each have changed significantly from the first time that we've met. And I am glad that I've got to experience multiple versions of you and continue to see you find your best version of yourself.
I think that's important for every relationship, because especially if you're going to get married to that person, because they're not going to be the same person for 40 years. It's just not going to happen. Everybody goes through change. Our interests change. Everything about us changes over time. And it was super beneficial being together at that young and just getting to, especially when you're young in those high school years, you're changing rapidly.
all the time.
Who you're hanging out with.
What's cool, what's in.
Exactly. So since we were together for that long, it really gave us, in my opinion, kind of a step up
Yeah.
in doing life together. And
Yeah, I think that we had to prioritize fighting for each other and getting through those tough battles as we transitioned from college to marriage and living apart, and now here we are.
What would you say if you had to give one tip to young couples? What would it be?
To always find the positive. I think so many times, and even I am guilty of this sometimes. Sometimes we focus on the negatives. It's very easy to fall in a loop and think about all of the bad things that have happened. But focus on the positives of that person, your future, yourself even. I think you truly have to find yourself and know what you want before you can expect that from someone else.
I would agree with that for sure.
What about you? What would you say?
I would say it all goes back to just supporting one another, like fully.
Mm-hmm.
I think if your significant other is not truly supporting you and just showering you with encouragement, I think that's a red flag. And we've been able to do that, both of us, very well for each other, I believe.
Yeah, I'd agree.
And I think that kind of stems from the families that we were brought up in, as they've always showed support and encouragement. I know Lilly was big into 4-H when she was growing up, and literally your entire family would come to watch you show at the fair. Your mom, your dad was always there. Your siblings were also there partially because they had to be, because they were also showing in the fair. But your grandparents on both sides would always show up. Even your aunt would come. So I think it was just kind of ingrained in us.
Yeah.
You know, when I was playing sports, my mom and dad were always there almost every tournament that I played in.
And your grandparents as well. It's so hard. Like, it just makes you feel good.
Yeah.
It's a feel good moment to know that someone else is cheering you on.
My grandparents would never miss a shot of golf that I hit ever. They would load up the motorhome, load the dog in there, and they'd take off down the road. So when we were playing college golf, they were always traveling in that thing, coming to events and watching. So, yeah, I think just showing your support and encouragement at all times is the key to a successful marriage and a successful partnership.
I'd 100% agree.
And I think it definitely helps when you come from families like we came from.
Mm-hmm.
So in the meantime, we're kind of going to just continue what we're doing. Lily's going to keep working through her schooling, and I'm going to keep training and working, and we're going to just be here for the foreseeable future and just kind of take it day by day and just keep building what we've already built. One thing that I am going to begin doing this year is I'm working on launching some one-on-one running and endurance coaching. It's something that I've wanted to do for about a year now. So once I finished up a year of endurance training and really being at some of these races and watching people hit their goals and seeing all the excitement and fun at the finish lines of marathons and ultras, I've kind of just wanted to be able to help people experience that and help people reach their own goals. I know the satisfaction I get when I hit one of my goals, and I really want to help other people do that. Yeah. And I feel like this would be a great way to have a positive impact on people and really, just add value to people's lives.
Yeah.
So that's something that is going to be coming this year. So if you're interested, definitely reach out. I'm still in the beginning stages of putting this all together. So, but I'm hoping by fall and winter races, we can have a couple of clients on and working towards maybe a first marathon, first ultra, whatever it might be, or a time goal in a marathon. So keep an eye out for that. I definitely would love to work with you and help you reach your running, weight loss, or strength goals. So yeah, that's kind of what we're going to be working towards in the coming months. We're going to continue launching podcasts and keep this podcast momentum rolling. is something that I wanted to work on and grow this year in particular. And for those of you who don't know, or if this is your first episode tuning in, we are running the Leadville Trail 100 in August, and we are doing a fundraising effort for that. We have partnered with Live Strong, and we are raising money for cancer research and those affected by cancer. And it's a super, I'm very grateful to be doing this. I'm dedicating the fundraising efforts and the race in honor of my grandfather, Don Foltz Sr., who passed from cancer back in 2003. And we are calling this Project 100. We are trying to get 100 donations in honor of somebody. So we want to represent someone we want to honor somebody who has battled cancer in their life. And we want 100 people for 100 miles in the race. Yeah,
each honorary member, whoever you're willing to donate for or in memory of, will represent 1 mile of the 100-mile race. This is a really big goal, but I think that we can do it. I think the number of people impacted by cancer is, I don't think you could put a number on it. No. I think there's way too many people that have been impacted, and to be able to come up with 100 names just helps drive your determination to complete this race and represent those 100 people.
I'm super excited to run this race because it is a race that I've wanted to run ever since I started running. And essentially it's my dream ultra. So I'm super excited to toe the line at Leadville this year and get to do it for something greater than myself. So I'm super excited for that. Do you want to talk a little bit about what we're going to have some shirts made? Do you want to talk a little bit about the shirts?
Yeah, we are looking to make shirts. The shirts will have the 100 names on the back of them. We're still trying to figure out a design, but the shirts will be available for purchase before the race. So if you're watching from home, we'll post live updates throughout the race, and you can show your support by wearing your Project 100 shirt while Hunter is completing the Leadville 100-mile race.
Yeah, so definitely be on the lookout for those. Fundraising ends on July 16th, so get your donations in it and make sure you honor someone with that donation. You can either add it to, when you go in to donate, you can add comments, so just add the name you would like to honor in there, or you can reach out to me privately if you donate, and I can get the name from you. So that's kind of what we got going for that. Project 100 will also be documented fully on my YouTube channel, Foltz Fitness, so you can head over there and check out our episodes. We're going to be documenting the whole training, and then we will obviously have a race day video at the end in August. So you can head over there and check it out. We got one episode up and another one on the way. So super exciting stuff. I'm very excited to run this race. Like I said, it's my dream race. So getting excited. Started training this past week was week 1.
Yep.
So that's a little dive into our background and kind of what brought us to where we are today. I hope you enjoyed the episode, and I hope you got something valuable out of it. And we just hope that you'll join us on the next one. This is going to wrap up our episode. And please be sure to leave us a rating. It really helps out our podcast, and give it a review. So would you like to add anything?
I say thanks for listening, and we'll catch you on the next one.
We really appreciate you guys tuning in, and we will see you in the next episode.